Favorites to win each region. Now Gonzaga by far the heaviest favorite to win a region at minus 500 out in the West. We have a tie in the East. You're not just, five regions? No, 4 regions, but there's a tie in the East between Michigan and Alabama, both at plus 175. You can also get Houston at plus 105 and Baylor minus 130 to win the South. Best value, by the way, on title chances is on Houston, according to Sportsline. They're 9-1, which factors to about 10%. Sportsline gives the Cougars between a 12 and 13% chance to win it all. So let's get a tournament future reset with Tim Doyle, who's resetting himself after spending the entire weekend at the William Hill Sportsbook in Indiana. He is back home just outside of Chicago. Tim, let's start in the West region. Gonzaga, no value at all, I would think, anyway, at minus 500. I know you're Mr. Moneyline, though, sometimes. So are you willing to put that down for Gonzaga? Is it a sure thing?
All season long, I was talking about how Gonzaga was by far the best team in college basketball. And then what did I do? I picked Iowa. Why? Because I wanted to be that guy, Chris. I wanted to be that guy saying second time they were going to see Gonzaga. They weren't going to be intimidated by them. Well, what did Iowa do? Hold on. Oregon just scored again. Yeah, they didn't guard Oregon that entire game. I mean, they got embarrassed in that matchup. The region is just so right for Gonzaga, and really they haven't played a competitive game so far. A game against Oklahoma was never in doubt. I love their basketball IQ. They are your clear-cut favorite right now. I do think it's an amazing storyline. If USC wins, it will be the best NBA prospect, arguably, in Evan Mobley, going up against the best team in college basketball, Gonzaga. So that USC-Oregon matchup, they only played once this year. USC won the game. But Creighton, do they have any chance? Linesmakers don't think so. 13.5-point underdog. So Gonzaga likely to move on. Then you see the Trojans at 2.5. I think there's a great storyline there, Chris. You got possibly the best NBA prospect going up against the best team. But this region is over. Zags are going to win it.
Yeah, double-digit favorite. Basically 2 touchdown favorites against the Creighton Blue Jays. Nobody's given Creighton a chance in that game against Gonzaga. And Gonzaga's covered both large spreads early on in this tournament. To the South region we go. And that's where we have Baylor and Arkansas as favorites here. Baylor, more of a favorite than Arkansas. Oral Roberts is in that region as well, 25-1 if you want to take a flyer.
I've been impressed by all of these teams. Full transparency. I start off with Oral Roberts. You got A. Smith there. He's like 5'0", 100, just launching up threes. What a great story that is. And Villanova, I had them out early. I give them credit. Jay Wright advances. They play with so much physicality. It's like YMCA ball. Everyone kind of backs down their opponent. And then Arkansas at the must bust. There's a certain excitement there. They obviously luck into the draw with Oral Roberts, 11-point favorite. But no team has been as impressive to me in that region than Baylor. Just eyeball test. When I was watching the Bears play, I just went like this, whoa. And then like 4 plays later, it was like, whoa. And then a guy would like just steal the ball and go down on the break. I mean, like Wisconsin's a pretty good college basketball team. Oh, right to the top 25 all year. It was sort of like watching the varsity play the JV from an athlete standpoint, from a speed standpoint, from a jumping standpoint. I mean, Baylor, there's a saying when someone throws a lob, they say, watch your head. Watch your head when you're playing Baylor. Told this story and I'll tell it again. We're playing Michigan. I was on a fast break. There was a guy in front of me and I was guarding him. And then he lobbed the ball. I thought it was like an ill-advised shot. Little do I know, Brett Petway, who was known as Air Georgia, was behind me. And as the ball sailed over my head, I just heard angels singing in the background. And then Petway caught the ball. He dunked it on my head. It was an N1. And then the next 2 games I didn't start because of my ill-timed jump on Mr. Petway. So yes, that video is on YouTube. Yes, you should go and find it. And yes, angels were singing.
Almost took your best hair in the Big Ten clean off as he sailed over you. Let's head to the East region. You've taken the favorites so far, Gonzaga and Baylor. East region, you've got 2 favorites here. Michigan and Alabama, both with the same price at plus 175.
I picked Alabama coming out of this region at the jump. Hats off to Michigan. Want to know something? You showed me some grit. You showed me some toughness in that game against LSU. Yeah, guys step up that average less than double digits a game, and you go out and win that game. I'm going to go with Alabama. Now, interesting enough, if you really break down the Michigan region, I think the game against Alabama may favor Michigan more than the game against Florida State. You just can't simulate what Leonard Hamilton's team does defensively. I mean, they've held their opponents to 53.5 points. But I'm going to go with the Crimson Tide because I got a feeling Florida State's going to win that game. And then I don't think Florida State can match up with the so many different weapons that Alabama has. And they can come at you in droves, scoring the basketball. I liked them last night, and they won that game comfortably. They started off shooting the three well. It never really seemed to stop. Even the game against Iona, I thought there was just some early game nerves. You're going up against Rick Pitino and stuff that you pulled away in that game. Alabama's my pick from the jump. If you want to make a case for Florida State, I'm buying it. But Chris, do you know anybody, and I mean anybody, that picked Michigan to come out of that region?
No, I had him losing right here in the Sweet 16. I know a lot of people had him losing to LSU, but they certainly have. I thought they were the weak cog out of the Big Ten. They're the only team left standing from the Big Ten. One more region to pick here with Tim Doyle. He's picked a couple 1s and a 2 so far. The Midwest region doesn't have a 1 anymore because Illinois was taken down by Loyola. And Houston is now the favorite in that region. You're still getting plus money, but barely at plus 105.
You know, go back to Chris after we look at this full screen here, because I have a conundrum. All right, I got to be fully transparent, okay? You can go to my Twitter at TimDoyle00. I had Houston beating Loyola to go to the Final Four. Can I now pick Loyola?
You can, sure.
I'm going to pick them. Yeah, I mean, how could you not? I mean, you talk about dominating performances. That's what they've gone out and did so far. You know, Georgia Tech shot 57% and lost. All right, you can take it away, Chris. Yeah, thanks. Then Illinois, that game was never competitive. It really wasn't. I'm sorry. They won the game by double figures, and the game never got inside of 6 in the second half. And watching Houston, they were my pick to play in the national championship game. But that's going to be a dogfight of a game. And now, am I biased because I live in Chicago and rooting for Loyola? Yes. Am I biased? I've called 20 Loyola games for CBS over the last 4. Yes. Got a chance to know these kids. Love their energy. Love their effort. Houston did a great job figuring out a way to win against Rutgers. That was ugly as can be. So I don't know what to do. I picked Houston in my bracket, but I'm rooting for Loyola. But at the end of the day, I picked Iowa to win it all. So, you know, I don't know what that's saying about anything. I'll tell you this. My dad told me this once about gambling. He was spot on. He said the only bets you have are the bets you make. You know that guy goes, oh, I could have had that and I would have had that. No, the only bets you have are the bets you make. So whatever I bet on these games is who I'm going to end up having. But in my bracket, I did have Houston, but I'm going to pick Loyola.
You might as well. I mean, you can't change your bracket at this point, but you can still make the bets. So taking Loyola, they certainly were more impressive than Houston, a team that should have lost to Rutgers. If that game was managed a little bit better by Rutgers down the stretch, it would be Rutgers instead of Houston. Okay, so those are the picks for the regions. He's got Gonzaga, Baylor, Alabama, and Loyola making the Final Four. Who's your national championship pick? You can still get plus money on the Zags.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Gonzaga here. I mean, what an awesome matchup it would be if Gonzaga plays Loyola, huh? I mean, just the storylines there. And do you think that had a little bit to do with Illinois getting Loyola in the second round? I mean, I know we talked so much about Loyola getting hosed with their seed, but Illinois got hosed. They had to face Loyola in the second round. Obviously, that was the only game on TV as well. But they just have so much depth. You know, we talk about Timmy and Kispert and Suggs all the time, but Cook comes off the bench. Cook averaged 15 points a game at Southern Illinois. He averages 4 for Gonzaga. IE is really good. Like, they got a really solid team. They have no weakness. Remember the little boy from Jamaica? He went like this, no weakness. And when I see Gonzaga, I see no weakness. But Gonzaga, Loyola, oh, that would be a ratings phenomenon. So many storylines. By the time that game takes place, Sister Jean will be 106 years old. That's not true. She's 101, and she has blessed me before. Chris, have you ever touched her coat? I was rubbing her shoulder weird just to try to get vibes off the coat.
I'm hoping this was pre-pandemic, not during pandemic, that you were touching Sister Jean. Okay.
Pre-pandemic.
Right. Tim Doyle here on CBS Sports HQ. He's close with the Loyola Ramblers. He's called a bunch of their games for CBS CBS Sports Network, and he likes him to make the Final Four out of the Midwest region, even though he took Houston to the national championship game in his bracket. He's not going to shy away from taking heavy favorites. Still loves Gonzaga, even though it's minus 500 in the West, and loves Gonzaga to win it all, plus 150.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.